a child with autism. I have a special guest today. Please say hello to Kelly Wilson. She's also an occupational therapist with a 24-year-old child with autism, and she's also my cousin. So, hey, Kelly, how are you today?
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. So I'm really excited about this today because you know that I taught for 5 years, and my favorite class was special ed, teaching children with autism. But let me talk a little bit about autism, and you know all about it, but we'll get into it with you in a second. Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, ASD, it's a complex neurodevelopmental condition that affects how individuals communicate, interact, learn, and behave. So it is a spectrum. So the experiences vary widely. That I do know from teaching different levels of kids. It's generally defined by two categories. Number one, special communication and interaction. These are the children that have difficulty with nonverbal communication and understanding social cues. Then there's number two, restricted and repetitive behaviors. Children that have, or adults that have a strong preference for strict routines, repetitive body movements. All right. It appears in children, early childhood, from 12 to 24 months. And there's three levels based on the level the assistance that's needed by the person or the child. And as far as how it's caused, it says it's primarily driven by genetic factors and environmental issues. And you have 1 in 34 children, about 3.2% of the U.S. population, and they say about 9 million adults, which is 2%. All right. So there's a little history, a little background. Let's talk to Kelly now. Kelly, I know your son, Eric, he's what, 24?
Yes.
Right? All right. So when did you first realize that your child, I mean, now I know you have 3 children, right? Was he the firstborn? No.
Yes.
He's your first.
My middle.
He's your
Tommy is
middle
my
child.
oldest.
Okay.
27, and he's my middle. Yep. And Cardin is my youngest. Yep.
Okay. And I'm not saying it's you're talking, but there's a little something there. So when did you first know or at least have an idea that your child was different?
I would say in utero, the way he was moving was not like his brother. And then when he was born, right away, he had open heart surgery. And then after that, developmentally, you can definitely tell around 6 months. He was not doing your typical mirroring, like playing patty cake or, trying to feed himself, trying to sit up, he wasn't looking at you. He had very strange sleep patterns. There was definitely something off. I wasn't quite sure. But by the time he was about 10 months, he started with a few words. And then by the time he was probably 18 months, all of that went away. And he just he had no self-help and reached virtually no developmental milestones.
So you knew, you being in the occupational therapy, did you know that that's what it was? Or
I knew something was wrong. By the time he was 2, he taught himself the entire computer. He uploaded one of the CD-ROMs and set all the icons on the desktop. It was a brand new computer. We were just trying to set it up, and we had dinner, and he installed it. He was 2. Wow. And he ran the software. He knew how to do it. I had no idea. Oh my God. And he had splinter skills, which he did so many things that were well above his age group. Even some older adults can't even do what he had done at 2, but yet he was still not feeding himself. He was still not repeating words. He had no words. he was fixated on the computer, hyper fixated. That's all he wanted
Right.
to do. He didn't even
Right.
want me, those types of things.
That's that behavior, right there. Did he have repetitive? Does he have repetitive body movement?
Yes.
No. Mm,
Yes. Flapping his hands. Um, when he was excited, he was a happy baby,
mm,
but he never slept. Never.
mm, mm,
Maybe an hour a day, um, maybe 2 hours a day. He had no problem falling asleep at night, but then that was it. He was up.
mm.
He'd go to bed at 9, um, sleep till 11, and was up all night.
Well, my experience is I taught 21 children. I want to do a little reading from this. It's called Special Ed Chapter 5. But in the 21 children that I taught, none of them were angry or, I mean, have this. They'd ever had, none of them had an energy that I was like afraid of or concerned with. Has your son, has ever, I know there might like lash out, but has there been like a concern for your well being?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, for his safety. He had 0 safety awareness. Um, he had a fixation with buses in addition to the computer,
Mm,
and he would run out of school. Um, and he was at Bancroft Neurohealth in Cherry Hill for a long while when he was young. And I love that program. I love that program. They were excellent. And then the school district, because they don't want to pay, and any parent that listens right now would attest to this. The school district won't tell you that, but they just don't want to pay. So they brought him back and they said, we created a whole new program, right? Which did nothing. It was not safe for him, it was inappropriate. And he was developing behaviors around puberty that he was just unsafe. He would dart out of the school onto the bus.
right.
There were D1 athletes on the football team that could not hold him back. So ultimately,
Yeah.
he was expelled, and they finally um, saw that there was a need for him to go into back to Bancroft. Um, and he did very well there. He did get violent a couple times during puberty. Um, he threw his teacher down the stairs. She was pregnant. He choked me.
Mm,
He would jump out of the car. I mean, it was very unsafe. And he wasn't doing it to be malicious. He just had these impulsive
right.
desires to go chase the bus. The bus is still a big thing for him, but now he understands. And he had to be medically managed. He had to
Mm,
be, we had to find medication for him that subdued him, because physically you cannot subdue him. So
right.
he's
Yeah.
doing beautifully now, and he's in a wonderful program that his father and I are very satisfied with thus
Right.
far.
But raising him, I know you became an occupational. I know you went through. You raised 3 children, but so is it possible for someone to have an autistic child and to go to work, a regular job, or you raised them?
Not at his level, not the
Mm,
level and the behaviors that he was exhibiting. He was, I guess, in today's standards, he would be considered level 3 autism,
the highest
which
level,
is the most profound,
right?
yes, disability that, on the autism spectrum that you could have,
Right.
because it comes with such extreme behaviors. He was eating wood, he was
Mm,
chewing on all of the brand new windows in the house, the mantle, the you
mm,
name it, eating rubber, eating glass, eating pencil eraser. Like, you couldn't even turn around and look. He doesn't do that now. Once in a blue moon, you will catch him trying to put something in his mouth. But his school it's very small, or not his school, his program is very small, and they do keep an eye on him, and it's wonderful. He just still tries it, but not nearly at the level that he was doing it.
So
Um,
at 24, he's not able to work a job, right? I think he did have a job. No,
no,
he's not able to make.
we tried.
And then you take him. Well, he lives home. Then he goes to the place and he comes back. So he sleeps home every night.
Yes.
So it's not like he lives there. But I know there are facilities where you can house the child, right?
Yes, and that is something that every night I think about it. You know, when when you age, you cannot care for them. This is like a crisis in society right now because there is a new if you will, baby boom of autism that they're aging, they're becoming adults now, young adults, and when their parents pass, we're
Mm,
like Gen X and um at least I am, and like the younger baby boomers have not only their parents to take care of because we're called the sandwich generation,
mm-hmm.
and we have these profound children to take care of. So there's not enough homes to go around. There's not. My son is number 2,400 and I think 71 on the list in New Jersey.
Wow. That's just like good luck with that. So getting on the lottery. How about this? So he had that ability with the computer, but can he learn new things and retain that information, or is it
If
just
he
something?
likes it,
I see. He
if
likes it.
he's interested, if
He'll
he's
he'll he'll
interested,
obsess about it, maybe, or
if he's interested, he will figure it out. But if he's uninterested, you can't, there's nothing.
right. Well, there's nothing you can.
He'll just shut it down, walk away, get up, and you'll know he's agitated. He does have self-injurious behaviors, like he'll
Mm,
bite his hand or he'll hit himself on the side of the head when he's very irritated, but he will never attack anyone.
right.
Um, um,
He's not malicious,
now it,
right? He's
I'm
not
sorry,
malicious.
say it
He's
again.
not malicious, right? He's not a mean boy.
No,
No, no.
no. And some of them, he has had boundaries from a very, very young age. He has been disciplined. These children know. And there's a lot of complaints um, in the autism world with teachers, with aides, with where their parents always said, they don't know any better. They do know.
Mm,
They do know.
they do know.
Um, you just have to redirect them and have some types of discipline. Now there's some that are even more severe than my son
Mm,
that really can't be. I mean, they're literally put away.
mm,
Bancroft has an institutional type setting where they don't even go out because they're so dangerous.
right. Right.
Um, so those types and that level, it's so sad, but some of them can't be helped in regards to trying to get them to learn. But with my son's level, even though he's profound, he still does understand to a
Right.
certain degree.
Well, let me tell you, this happened to a friend of mine. She has a brother who's been living in a home for 40 years. All right. No kidding. He's 70 now. He's still alive. 70.
Wow.
When he was 30, they put him in. She went to visit him. Now, she told me this. She said, I went to visit him. He's in California. She goes to see him once a year. Actually, the state pays for her to go visit him. They have a budget for her to go visit. And she said, this happened in the 70s. She said, we took him when he was like 16 or 17. They had to go to a wedding. She said it was a traditional Japanese wedding. So it was very elaborate, traditional. And he lost it at the wedding. And it was a big scene. He had to leave the family. It was a big event. So she says this to me. She said, Rich, when I went to see him, which was last month, he says to her, I want to apologize for 1970. He knew the date, the wedding.
Yes,
He
they
remembered
do.
everything about
Yes.
it. And he
Yes.
apologized. He said, that was a huge breakthrough. He never apologized for anything. And I'm apologized for being bad, he said. She was like, wow.
No, they do know. They know. So um it's just remarkable to me when parents say, "Oh, he doesn't know any better," and there's so many behaviors that are absent. Why would you allow it for your typical child? That's why I want my son in a wonderful. There's wonderful group homes. Um, you just have to be diligent. You can't just
Right.
send them there and never uh, follow up and see them. You have to constantly be involved. Um, and I expect for him what I expect for my other two children. I want him to live as independently as possible.
Mhm.
And he deserves that respect. He deserves that. And, you just have to be diligent and you just have to have family members check on them. But mothers also and fathers deserve to have a life. And a lot of people will disagree with me, but that's my stance on it.
I want to read
Because if
something.
you, oh, go
No, go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Finish. Yeah.
I was just going to say, if you're not pouring from a full cup, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you deplete your mental health trying to take care of them and meet all their needs, you cannot do it.
Right.
You just can't.
I want to read something. I had a breakthrough. I had two breakthroughs. I'd call them breakthroughs, and I knew nothing about autism. Never even met a child with autism. Didn't know anything. I was teaching 21 kids. Well, I couldn't get a job, so I went, and then my mentor said, "You want to teach special ed?" I'm like, "What's that?" So I taught best in 30 days, and then here we go. Her name was Victoria. All right. She was level 3 and she wouldn't look at you. She sat in the back of the room. She had a personal aide. Let me read you this. Her name was Victoria and she was 17 years old. I knew this because her personal aide said she would be turning 18 in the summer and that the following year she would be attending another school that would get her ready for the real world. Interesting, considering Victoria rarely spoke, and when she did, she pronounced all her words in a guttural way. She also had eyes that couldn't focus and were constantly darting from side to side, as well as she rarely made eye contact with anyone for any length of time. And though she didn't have Tourette's syndrome, her arms would flail constantly while her head slowly turned from side to side as if she was saying no at all times. But she was happy, so she was always smiling. Right. On my very last day, and I'm jumping here, very last day, something magical happened that led to our breakthrough. As the students were entering the class and settling into their seats, another student farted really loud, dispersing dispersing a really foul smell that filled the classroom. It's true. And they didn't
That
even
would
care.
be Eric.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just don't
they
care.
don't care.
You just let them fly,
Right,
right?
let it fly. All right. Okay. I looked at, okay. I looked at the boy and waved my hand in front of my face. I went, whew, David, that really smells. At that moment, Victoria began to laugh. And then I started laughing with her. So much so that both of us became hysterical with laughter. All of a sudden, Victoria came over to me. She looked me straight in the eye. Then she hit me on the shoulder with a waving hand and said, "Woo, Mr. C, woo." She kept waving her hand, hitting me again and again, saying, "Woo," each time locking eyes with me. And she held our gaze for what seemed like an eternity. But I couldn't stop my uncontrollable laughter, nor could I stop looking at her. I was mesmerized. An untethered connection, completely different than that fateful day when in the book, my mom passes. But the same unflinching focus and intensity. Another forever moment I'll never forget. It was a breakthrough. And then her aide came rushing over to me and say, in the book, guys, it's Eddie Cruz. It's a narrative nonfiction book, so I don't use me, but Eddie Cruz came running over saying, "Oh my God, she never looked at me in 4 years." Had an aide, never looked at the aide, never interacted, never touched the aide. So it was that little thing, and it was the laugh, and
It
she was staring at me, like looking inside of me, and I was like, "Oh my!" I froze. I was like, because I never looked at her before, and I saw the person. I didn't see all the autism. I saw the human being, and I'm like, such a sweet kid. So not to, But did Eric, and we'll finish up soon, but did Eric have any like real breakthroughs that did you?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, and
tell
I
me.
couldn't wait for you to ask because this one will forever be etched in my memory. And it was just so funny. So one day, he was a very, very, very young recipient of an augmentative communication device. At the time,
Hmm.
um, it was like 10 pounds. Anybody that's listening would know if they knew of this company. It was called Pranky Ramich. He still asks for it. It was a giant, big box like this, and it had about 40 batteries taped together. It had to be about 10 pounds, and he loved it. He loved the weight of it. He's very, very sensory seeking. That's why he was always chewing things that he wasn't supposed to. And now they just have communication devices right on your phone. The apps are free actually, but this at the time was $60,000 and the school gave it to him. He loved it. And his father and he were, they were playing with it, and his father was showing him how to use it appropriately. And Eric typed. That was one thing about him. He was very hyperlexic. He knew how to spell. To this day, he can spell anything that you ask him to spell. He does have a language disorder, so all of his sentences are very fragmented. Like, I want juice, I want red juice, I want chicken nuggets, I want Wendy's, nothing, it's very concrete, nothing abstract. So anyway, he typed the word fuck and typed it out, spelled it appropriately. And then when you push the button on the word, it will say it. It will actually say it. Right. So he started giggling and laughing, and he would look over at his father and make eye contact like he knew it was
You know, it was like
bad.
a bad
And
word.
right, he knew it was bad,
But
right?
he was
So
doing it anyway.
yeah, so Dave's, I hear Dave hollering from the room. He was like, Kelly, come here. And I was like, oh my God, what now? What now? So I walk in and he was like, look what he just did. And then Eric's pressing the button and
Oh,
it's
like
going,
that.
fuck. And actually it was fuck you. That's what it was.
Oh, wow.
And I went, oh my God. I mean, I was like, I was actually thrilled because he was using it appropriately and he knew it was bad and he was laughing. He was trying to make a joke. And then, Tommy and Carden walk in. They're like, if we ever said that, we would not get clapped at, especially Carden because she was little. I would never, the whole thing. So we had a whole meeting at school about it. Everybody was thrilled. They're like, Eric just spelled fuck you to his parents. And they were so elated because he used it appropriately. Right. And that's when his language started to take off. I don't know where he heard it. He must have heard it.
I'll tell you
I
where
don't
he
know.
heard it. It's the
I don't
most
know, but he knew how
popular
to.
word in school. No kidding.
Right.
That's one of my. It's the most popular. They all say it. Every kid.
Exactly. And then, as a mother, you think they don't know. They don't know. You can say anything. To this day, I don't know what he knows because he doesn't have the output. He has the input, right, but his output is compromised. But that day I'll never forget. That was a really fun day. And that's my boy,
Awesome. Well, breakthroughs are awesome. Well, let's finish up with any words that you want to say to, I know it took a strain on your marriage. It took a strain on your life. I mean, it wasn't so just maybe say a few words because we'll wrap it up here to someone who has a 2-year-old autistic child and they're throwing their hands up. What advice can you give?
You really have to accept all the help you can possibly get. Take time for your marriage, take time for your other children, and really just enjoy your child. I know it's very difficult to enjoy them when they're not sleeping, when they're tearing up your house. But that's another thing. They didn't have the support that they do now. They just didn't back then.
Right.
And while it wasn't that long ago, they just did not have the support
Right.
and the services that they do now. It
Right.
just didn't.
Hmm.
And they just didn't know why they're doing the things that they're doing. A lot of it could have been he was frustrated because he couldn't communicate. I still don't know.
Right.
Just enjoy them, love them, know that it will get better. They always improve. Um, and remember, you have other children and you have a husband, and that is, without that familial foundation, everything else crumbles. It really does. You have to have a good marriage, and it can put a strain on your marriage. It really can.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Without a doubt.
But
Stay
and
positive.
family needs to step in and help. They
Yeah.
need to,
Right. This is
just
where
like they
family.
used to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is where family and where we come from, Sicilian, right? Her mom, Kelly's mom, and my mom were sisters. We grew up north in Trenton with the aunts, the
The
Sicilians, who were
whole thing.
had a great family where they'd whack you in the butt if you ran in the street, right? But that's unfortunate. A lot of the children that I taught, the parents just whatever. But that's a whole nother thing. Well, Kelly, thanks so much. I'm going to wrap up with the 3 Tola talks. You'll stay on. Hey, guys, by the way, the ABCs, we didn't talk about the ABCs, but thank you for coming on and shedding some light for folks. And hey, good luck with everything. But guys, the ABCs, all body workout, blissful sleep, Kelly knows, colorful diet. What you got to be doing that. But let's finish up with the 3 Tola takeaways. You guys know, number 1, respect the ABCs. Got to do it. Number 2, shed your light. Go spread your light today. Give it to somebody. Go visit, call. Don't just text. Pick up the phone. And finally, always be willing to accept another person's opinion and accept people for however they are, right? Autistic or not. All right, guys. Kelly, thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is fun. All right, guys. Have an awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.